Hey y'all, my name is Tamron and thank you guys so much for clicking on another video of Safe Space. If you guys are new here, this is an environment where I cover, just different type of topics. Like I've covered self-confidence, love, and today we're doing a college edition. So I'm excited to just cover my experience and my input on college and choosing college and when it's time for you to go and things like that. I don't have the unconventional, I have an input that may be a little controversial, but I do feel like it's needed. So you guys definitely stick around to the end, and I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments. If you would do me a favor, such as liking this video, I would so appreciate it. And you guys can definitely follow me on Instagram right here. So let's jump into it. So first things first, I am going to set my face and I'm going to talk about basically my college experience. After that, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons, because I've technically went to 3 different institutions. And lastly, we're going to cover what you guys should think about if you're looking to transfer or getting started at a university, slash if you're already there. So let's have a conversation down in the comments. So I'm so excited. Let's jump into it. Okay, so first things first, if you guys don't know, I am 22 years old. I'm a senior at UTSA, which is University of Texas at San Antonio. I'm from Texas. I'm receiving in-state tuition at the moment. Of course I should be. And this is my 3rd institution. So technically, well, not technically, I mean, honestly, whenever I was in high school, they offered a program that is dual credit. That's the name of it. And so I was able to enroll with Houston Community College. So I was able to get about 4 different classes done while I was still at school, or I was able to get 4 different classes done while I was still at high school, or in high school. So that was technically my first school. Community college is good and it definitely serves its own purpose. I think if you're trying to, one, save on money, I know people always say that, but that is a very genuine thing. And if you're in high school right now and they offer dual credit and you're choosing between dual credit and AP classes, choose dual credit, because AP classes you have to test to get that credit, and dual credit you just get it regardless of, it's like any other course. The grade you get will apply to. It's cool. I think it's good to get your feet wet at community college, and definitely serves its own purpose. So after I graduated high school, I initially went to Louisiana State University, LSU, go Tigers if you don't know. And I was there for 2 years and basically got my associates there. Not technically, because I didn't just go for an AA, but I was there and I completed 60 credit hours, and so that was that. I transferred for personal reasons, and we'll talk more about them throughout the length of this channel, but transferred home for personal reasons. And now I'm at UTSA. So UTSA, I've been there since 2018, and that's that. I graduate in May. I'm in my last 2 classes. I've got 11 hours before I'm completely done. And so that's my background, and that's why I have the ability to talk to you guys about choosing universities and colleges, and just what makes sense for you and things that you should think about prior to committing to a choice, or if you're thinking about transferring, something that you can add to your decision-making process. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this makeup look. Okay, so let's first hit pros and cons. So we're gonna start with community college. Honestly, I really don't have any cons for community college. It did everything I needed it to. Honestly, I don't have any cons for it. It was really beneficial to me because it kept me from having to take any English classes while I was at a larger institution, which was really beneficial because, girl, I don't know what it's like, but I've heard what it's like, and I've heard they're a lot more demanding and rough. And trust me, like, okay, so my degrees were always, well, they weren't always, I did transfer majors or change majors or whatever, but I always kind of had my eyes set on business anyway. And so it was really nice to not have to write a paper in college, because I have not written a paper in since I graduated high school. How about we say that? I have not written a full paper since I graduated high school. So definitely good to take that into account. Because I'm in Texas, we have that program called dual credit again, and so I didn't have to pay for the classes I took. They were free, so that's beneficial. Again, I can't stress it enough. This is the last thing I'm going to say about it. If you're able to take dual credit in high school, do it, sweetie. Next, moving on to LSU, which is really it was the pace I chose when I was in high school, and I'm really glad that I did. Like, it got me out of home and it allowed me to, you know, spread my wings and fly a little bit. Now, I will say this, cons, it was not, first of all, cons, it was low-key racist. Cons, it wasn't even low-key. Like, we have the parade grounds at LSU. Because I paid 2 years worth of out-of-state tuition there, so it is still and will always be we. And I met my husband there, so husband of my dreams. So I met my boyfriend there as well, so yeah. But we were on the parade grounds one day, and there was a Confederate flag in LSU colors, and I promise you I will never forget that. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is really the school I go to. But I will say that, you know, I like the programs there. It was very easy to get involved with like things on campus. So pros and cons, and would I do it again? I would definitely go back to LSU again, but only as coming out of high school. I wouldn't do it as like an adult. I don't think I would. And also continuing in the spirit LSU, it was a lot of fun. It's definitely a party school, as they say. Don't take that for granted, because you're gonna be partying for the most part. I mean, obviously you still have choices and stuff, but you're most likely gonna be partying. And so it was fun. It was cool. It's a messy school. Like, especially as a Black person, like, it's a little messy. It's a lot of bit of messy, but you know, academically, education-wise, I took some hard classes there. I know that Louisiana, you know, historically their education system is not that great statewide, but you know, having gone to UTSA after, I definitely took some of my hardest classes there, like accounting 1. Girl. So yeah, it was cool. Okay, so for UTSA, and I'm blending right now. So for UTSA, pros is that, you know, obviously in-state tuition, glory to God for that. It is a very diverse school, so it was really nice to be around more people that I could relate to easier. And not saying that I don't relate to white people. This is not a racial channel like that. It's just, you know, being around, you know, coming from a school that had a Confederate flag on game day to being in a school that had a taco truck on their, you know, like main center of their campus. It was totally different. So that was cool. They had a lot more Greek life. I'm not Greek, but they did. And pros, I would say UTSA is a lot more of, so I'm in the RFD program, Real Estate Finance and Development, inside the business college. And my professors were a lot more, because they are career professionals, they were attentive to getting us resources that we were able to like grow in. So because I didn't take upper level division classes at LSU, I really don't know this, but I do know at UTSA, like, we had to do a lot of professional development courses. We had to do a lot of like activities, like they weren't just extra credit, like we really had to do those like to receive a grade in class. So we did a lot of that. Like, they did a lot of different things, like made me make my business card. made me do email signatures. Like, I didn't have options to do some professional things, and I appreciate that. So that's just to say something from my program in the business college. But I do believe as a whole, UTSA is a lot, because San Antonio is more of, UTSA is a commuter school, and it's a lot of, it has an older population. And so I think a lot of the professors are attentive that, you know, these people have, you know, families and people they have to provide for, and so they're very attentive to getting people on their feet. Again, I can only speak from, you know, my degree plan, my professors, my college, but they were attentive to that. I did have to check one professor one time. That was annoying, because he kind of made some questionable racial, you know, statements in class, so that was interesting. But cons of it, cons of UTSA, can I really give any cons of UTSA? Okay, so their athletics program, they're getting better, so I don't even know if this still applies. But when I first got there, you know, I really wasn't involved with that. At UTSA, I really stayed to myself. At LSU, I was a lot more involved with like social things and friendships and X, Y, and Z. UTSA, I stayed to myself, so I feel like I had a totally different experience based off of what I chose to do. But UTSA is a great school. You know, honestly, it's a great school. And I do think that in the future, if you chose to go there or already there right now, I think that it has a lot to offer. And yeah, like I stayed in a close on-campus apartment. Second year, I stayed with my aunt, so I kind of had both experiences, and I enjoyed them. They offered a lot of night classes, and yeah, I just wasn't excited to be at UTSA. UTSA wasn't exciting for me because it wasn't the school I originally ever thought I would end up at. So I think that kind of like weighed my enjoyment and like how much I was looking to get out of that school. But it was good to me. That's what I'll say. So pros and cons on that. Now on to the purplish bluish shade. So things I think are useful for somebody who is either in college right now or is needing to transfer, like is in college right now needing to transfer, or looking to get into, to choose a university. One, I think the main thing that people didn't stress to me, which is really important, is, do you like the city that you're moving to? That's crucial. I know that, you know, obviously the academics come first, and so I'm not going to go through the whole list in order. It's not what my purpose is. I'm supposed to be bringing things to you that you didn't really think of. That was one thing about Baton Rouge that was really big to me, which is where LSU is located in. I did not like Baton Rouge at all. At all. They didn't have like shopping centers. I was like, bro, like it was just such a different environment than where I came from. And I'm not even talking about finances. I'm just talking about like the closest Walmart was like really a drive away. Like it wasn't just, things weren't just around the corner, and that was different for me. And so it, you know, the lifestyle in Baton Rouge was not what I liked. I did not like it. Yeah, I also want to talk about friendships. So regardless of where you're at on your college career, don't expect that you're gonna get there and have all the friends that you could ever imagine and they're all going to be genuine friends. That's not to throw shade at anybody. That's just to say that in college you grow a lot, and especially, you know, like throughout all the years. But you're not going to, first of all, you don't know a full person until they live by themselves. Okay? And then when you do know somebody and they're living by themselves, circumstances happen, people change, and it's not a bad thing, you know? people may not be what you originally thought that they were, which is not a bad thing. It's just to say that whenever I first got into college, I genuinely thought that the people that I was originally hanging out with were going to be my forever friends. And you know how people say, oh, you know, you'll meet a person here and they'll be your friend, and this person, that person. Yes, I feel like those experiences do happen and they're great, but that's not everybody's scenario. And so I just advise you, one, choose the location, choose the city you want to live in, that's important. And then two, choose the friends that you make while you're in college, like wisely but slowly as well. That's important. And then lastly, I'll say with your degree, it's the last thing I'm gonna say about tips. Degrees are circumstantial. The degree I had when I first went to LSU, I applied was a poli-sci major. I'm still planning on going to law school, but I ended up getting my degree out of a business college, or am almost getting my degree, almost done. I also took a semester off, and one thing I learned in that semester was a lot more entrepreneurial things. And so that's to say that where you think you are right now may not be where you end up, and that's okay. And if you start later in college, I think that's even wiser. Like, you don't know life at 18. You don't know what you really want to do all day long. You don't know what it's like to you haven't experienced enough circumstances to really show you one way or another for most people. And so there's nothing wrong with changing. And honestly, if you want to take a gap year, or if you want to take time off, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And that's a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but I know for me and in my household, when I have kids, I'm probably gonna let them work for a year. That's just to be honest. Or if they want to, they don't have to. If they want to, if they want to work for a year, I'm fine with that, because at 18 years old, there's no literal way you're gonna know what you want to do enough to like make it make sense. There's no way. No way. Another thing I would say lastly for choosing a school is choose a place that will allow you to grow in extracurriculars as well. And that's one thing I will say again about UTSA that worked out really well, is that they have a lot of things you can get involved with that will allow you to, and I don't think you're gonna really know that until you're at school, but they have a lot of things that will allow you to get involved with the community and meet people so you can get the job, okay? So I'm gonna finish up this makeup look off camera, and then we're gonna come back. This is the final look, so tell me how you guys feel. Leave a comment down below if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about, you know, Safe Space in general, or you know, anything about this college edition. Again, just to be clear, Safe Space is an environment where, again, I let you guys a little bit into my experiences and what's been going on with me prior to me making this YouTube channel, but also giving you any advice, tips, and anything that I wish, if I could basically do it over again, I would like to have known about. So that's my contribution to Safe Space, but you guys have your own contribution to Safe Space. Definitely are able to create a community down in the comments. That's my goal. This channel is not about just everybody can talk, learn, share experiences, and that we can all ultimately grow together. I'm so excited to have you guys here and to watch me go on my journey, and I appreciate you guys so much. Again, college edition, peace out. Oh, also, with these Safe Space segments, we're gonna do like installments. So we'll do college edition part 2 or college edition part 3, 4, 5 eventually. So if you guys have any other questions you want me to answer or talk about, please let me know. I love you guys, and see you soon.